Fremantle have had an unbelievable resurgence, really. From a few weeks ago, they looked gone, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was remarkable what they did today. I mean, you look at the result there. They set it up in the first half. They led by 40 points. Their ball movement was unbelievable early. Yeah. Every time they went inside 50, they scored. They were fluent. West Coast just couldn't lay a glove on them. And it was interesting, I mean, the West Coast Eagles, how poorly they started the game once again with so much on the line in a big derby, and they just couldn't get the job done. But credit to Fremantle. I mean, they've been beaten 11 times in a row by the West Coast Eagles. They've bullied them. They've outworked them. And as much as, I mean, David Mundy, his milestone game today, equalling 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 record, I mean, is he still one of the most underrated players in the competition, despite being the oldest player in the competition? He still is. He was enormous again, and then he had the kids around him that were just superb.
Well, I read 3 weeks ago we had this exact chat, and I reckon Fremantle have been one of the most disappointing teams of the year because they've got a lot of talent and they hadn't really fired. Yep. And today was a big game, a big occasion, and they hit the ground running. But it was off the back of the next wave stars. Yep. I mean, like you said, no Walters, Fife.
Even Brayshaw, who's been a star all year, was out. Yeah, big blow for them.
And Caleb Serong, look at that, 32 disposals. I love how Serong's one of the younger players in the team. David Mundy's clearly the oldest player in the team. And kick, Joey, if this is not goal of the year, it's one of the best goals of the year, isn't it? It's an unbelievable bit of play.
And there was some controversy there with that kick from 𝘂𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. It was clearly out of bounds. The umpire called play on, and then this moment here, late in the last quarter, Serong, it was his second goal of the game. As you said, the 32 touches. They've been growing all the time, these Fremantle players. But look at the West Coast guys again. They were just standing around watching. They presumed it would go out of bounds. Ooh. They thought maybe this might have been called out of bounds. It was clearly out of bounds, but you just see the strength there of the boys. And then Serong, look at this. It was just an amazing game. It was a really terrific game of football. Fremantle, as I said, got out to a 40-point lead. West Coast Eagles came roaring back and looked like they would snatch it, but they just had enough composure, Fremantle, to hold on. And now they are technically still a chance to make the finals.
Yeah, very real chance. So I tell you why I think David Mundy's underrated in some ways, because we expect less from players who are older. And because he keeps delivering, we think, how can this be happening? He's in his mid-30s. He'll go again next year. There's no reason why he can't get to 400 the way he's playing.
Statistically, it's his second best year of his career. At age 35. Statistically, numbers, it's his second best year. I mean, he was, again, just tremendous. The composure, the experience that he had to portray around with those younger guys all around him, it was just an enormous victory and a great game of footy.
I thought their ball movement was just fantastic. Yeah. In the first quarter, they probably set it up. I heard Adam Simpson in the post-match talk about they couldn't stick their tackles. I thought Fremantle were brave. They probably played a more aggressive brand today. They actually played to win the game, not to stay in it or to play safe. And this sort of stuff here, I think it's really exciting, Joey. I'm not sure what your thoughts are, but, you know, sometimes you can get caught playing a brand of football you don't really want to play. You play a bit safe and a bit tentative, but these young kids just said, let's go and have a crack and let's just see what happens.
And you know what? It's probably been a bit of a frustration of mine, and I reckon a lot of supporters too. I reckon we've seen a lot of teams at the back end of this year when there is no pressure on them and finals are out of the equation, that they have played better on offence, haven't they? The Kangaroos started doing it. We've seen Collingwood do it at times. You know, we've seen teams that aren't going to play finals, St Kilda as well, play with much more freedom on offence. You'd love to see teams do that from the start of the year and actually back themselves in rather than when the shackles are off and they've got nothing to lose.